Good evening. Dear friends, registration link has been shared in the chat box. You can register for today's webinar. It is mandatory that every day you register before coming to session or immediately after joining the session. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022-2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, India's G20 presidency, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030. As part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, we are commemorating American Indian Citizenship Day. And Israel is celebrating its Province Day, Israel Province Day, and Italy is celebrating its Italy Republic Day. And today is also National First Ladies Day in US. And today is also National I Love My Dentist Day, which is dedicated to dentists for all the fantastic work they do. Keep us smiling. And today is also National Leave the Office Early Day. And various other commemorations we'll look into. Though, I mean, we don't have international commemorations as such, but we look at some of the national commemorations, and then we have monthly commemorations. Yesterday, because of lack of time, we just covered few, and we will try to complete some more today. So American Citizenship Day is observed on June 2nd. It was on the day in 1924 that the Indian Citizenship Act by Congress granted citizenship to all American Indians born in the US. The day celebrates the history, heritage, and culture of American Indian tribes across the country. All the tribes have their own traditions and beliefs. American Indian Citizenship Day celebrates their contribution to the country's culture and a reminder of their enduring legacy. Since the drafting of the US Constitution, American Indians were in a unique spot. Article 1 of the Constitution stated that Indians not taxed do not fall under the voting population of the America. American Indians were also part of Dred Scott Decision of 1857. Dred Scott Decision was a ruling by the US Supreme Court that declared that living in free territory did not entitle Dred Scott, an enslaved person, to his freedom. However, in July 1868, the 14th Amendment overturned the Dred Scott Decision and made anyone born in the US citizen with equal protection and process under American law. And yet, interpretations of this amendment excluded American Indians from US citizenship. The 1870 census showed that the estimated population of American Indians was more than the population of 5 states and territories, 10 territories, yet 92% of the American Indians were not eligible or not legible citizens. So it was the Davis Act of 1887 that gave conditioned citizenship to American Indians. Before the Civil War, citizenship was limited to those American Indians who had less Indian blood. During the Reconstruction period, granting of citizenship to American Indian tribes was sought after by the Republicans in the Congress. In 1888, American Indian women who married US citizens were given citizenship. The American Indian World War I veterans got their citizenship in 1990. Finally, it was in 1924 that all American Indians were conferred with US citizenship as a result of the Indian Citizenship Act. During this time, almost 1,25,000 out of an estimated 3 lakh of the American Indian population did not have citizenship. So the Davis Act granted citizenship to only those Native Americans who accepted provisional individual land grants in 1887. The US Office of Indian Affairs introduces its first preventive medicine program, which stresses the health of mothers and babies in 1929. So the National Congress of American Indians, NCAI in short, is founded, and many American Indian men as well as women attend its conference from all over the US in 1944, and the National Congress of American Indians was established. President Willard D. Eisenhower signs the Indian Health Transfer Act, which establishes the Indian Health Service that focus on providing public health care services to American Indians in 1954, and thus Indian Health Service was established. All American Indians are liable to pay federal income taxes. Tribal governments have the power to charge land revenue taxes, land reservation taxes. While most tribes have it, some don't. So whether to pay the tax on the services and goods purchased on the reservation land or not depends on the tribe. All American Indians are eligible if they meet the eligibility criteria like all other citizens to receive state services, including supplemental security income, SSI in short, temporary assistance for needy families, in short known as TANF, and the food stamp program, and the low income heating and energy assistance program, in short known as LIHEAP. Towards the end of the 19th century, people used to pay $5 apiece to acquire false documents that declared them as American Indians, as Native Americans. They did this to receive the benefits that came with having American Indian blood. So American Indians became eligible for US citizenship in 1924. And the American Indian citizenship can be acquired through different avenues, through federal Indian policies, marrying a citizen's allotment, or military service. Native American Day is observed on the second Monday in October, celebrating the diverse culture, history, and heritage of the Native American tribes. So many museums offer a lot of information on American Indian cultures. Pay a visit and find out more. If there are American Indians in your neighborhood, reach out to them, talk to them, and find out more about their culture. Read books about American Indian authors. Look up American Indian history. Explore languages spoken by American Indians, and a lot more. Until 1924, 40% of the American Indians were citizens of America, although more than 12,000 of them served in the American Army in World War I. President George H.W. Bush declared November as East Indies and called the natives Indians. The percentage of American Indians having below the federal poverty line is around 28.2%. The name Texas refers to a group of American Indian tribes, meaning allies or friends. So we can see that in Texas city of US, most of them are Indians or Indian origins. American Indian citizenship is a day that honors and celebrates the American Indians, the original inhabitants of America. American Indian Citizenship Day also honors the lives and traditions and cultures of American Indians. It also what adds to the culture of the country as a whole. And it also supports the American Indians and takes a stand for those who support them. And it is a day that uplifts the American Indian community. So today is also commemorated as National First Ladies Day. In US, which recognizes and applauds the unique role Americans' leading women played in serving the nation. From actors to artists to scholars and activists, women have occupied this role, each shaping it uniquely. The role of the First Lady is both flexible and constraining, granting the opportunity to make a change and a high degree of public scrutiny that is often rather critical. It's a difficult job with no rule book or formal procedure, but with great cultural and political significance. The role of First Lady started in 1789 with Martha Washington, the wife of first US President George Washington. When America was all very new to the office of president, she had the task of defining the role of First Lady. It is important to note that social norms were antiquated at this time and women were homemakers rather than leaders. Gender equity was not yet a concept. As such, many of the early First Ladies' roles were that of a hostess and homemaker. It wasn't until the mid 1940s that the role of First Lady began to expand into more than its early foundations. First Ladies like Lo Hoover, Eleanor Roosevelt took an active role in the presidency by speaking at press conferences and weighing in on current affairs. Bess Truman even worked as President Truman's aide with no salary. By the 1960s, First Ladies realized that despite lacking a formal office and mandate, they could still use their position and press to promote public relations for the president and push for initiatives that would help the American people. Claudia Johnson actively campaigned for her husband, Lyndon B. Johnson. Jacqueline Kennedy used her media savviness to demystify the White House. In 1986, First Lady Nancy Reagan, a former actress, launched an anti-drug campaign using television commercials. Hillary Clinton used her visibility as First Lady in the 1990s to launch a successful political career, becoming the First Lady to run for the president. Today, the role of First Lady is more about policy advocacy and women's leadership, and they exert a lot more influence in the past. So Martha Dandridge Custis Washington becomes the First Lady of the US in 1789. The First Lady, Betty Ford, opens a drug and alcohol facility in California. The Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation in 1949. Jacqueline Kennedy wins an Emmy for her television tour of the White House in 1962. Michael A. Obama launches the Let's Move initiative to fight childhood obesity in 2010. So the First Lady is, to be simple, if you are not still having the clarity, she is none other than the president's wife or spouse. And Martha Washington, the wife of George Washington, was the first woman to occupy the role of the First Lady. And the term Zachary Taylor was the first to use the phrase in an eulogy to Dolly Madison in 1849. He was the first person to use the term First Lady. President of the United States, James Buchanan, was the only president who remained a bachelor for the life. With 54 women to choose from, you won't run out of content on National First Ladies Day. So you can talk about these 54 women and more about their lives' contributions to the nation and influence on the men who govern America. You can also do this by reading memoirs or watching documentaries. Cherry blossoms are a long-standing White House tradition introduced by a Japanese as a gift in 1912. First Lady Bert Johnson also planted a new cherry tree on the White House grounds in 1965. All the First Ladies championed specific causes that gave back to society. Lady Bird Johnson campaigned for the environmental protection. Betty Ford founded a rehab center in California. And Michael A. Obama started an initiative against childhood obesity. So donate to a charity organization and contribute in cash or kind or in any form or even by voluntary so that you can help. Abigail Adams, President John Adams' wife, was the mother to President John Quincy Adams. So First Lady, First Mother. Lou Hoover, Herbert Hoover's wife, was the first woman to graduate from Stanford University. So she is also an intellectual. Florence Harding was the first lady to vote, own a radio, operate a camera, and also fly a plane. So she was one of the pioneers. Eleanor Roosevelt was the first lady to write a newspaper column and host a roadshow. She was a journalist. Woodrow Wilson's first wife, Ellen Wilson, was the only first lady who was a professional artist. So first ladies came from different backgrounds, and from opening rehabilitation facilities and advocating for aid to military families, to fighting childhood obesity and lobbying for the safety standards in the workplace. First ladies have played a significant role in supporting national causes and initiatives. Despite not having a formal office in the federal government, first ladies have always done their part to better the nation. Their efforts has helped thousands of Americans. First ladies, just like presidents, serve as an example of American values and ideals. They represent what we'd like to see in our society, inspiring others to emulate their thoughts and actions. Laura Bush once said, the role of the First Lady is whatever the First Lady wants it to. Every First Lady has taken on the role on their way. So they shaped it according to their temperament and areas of interest, but always sought to impact the lives of citizens positively. Today is also commemorated as National I Love My Dentist Day. The day is specifically dedicated to dentists for all over the world for all the fantastic work they do to keep us smiling. And it is celebrated to show your love for your dentist. The day is a symbol of appreciation for all dentists and their services. The early mention of dentistry as a medical profession dates back to Indus Valley civilization from around 7000 BC. And we have Ayurveda, the oldest and ancient medicine which was ever available to the humankind. It was only after 5000 BC that descriptions related to tooth decay and dentistry started appearing. In one of the Sumerian texts, dental decay said to have been caused by tooth worms. This idea wasn't ruled out or proven untrue until the 1700s. Popular ancient physicians and philosophers like Hippocrates and Aristotle wrote about dentistry. Their writing mostly entailed details of the treatment of tooth decay, but only after 1530 was the inaugural book on dentistry published. The book was titled The Little Medicinal Book for All Kinds of Diseases and Infirmities of the Teeth. Dentist became a more defined profession by the 1700s. In 1723, a French surgeon called Pierre Fauchard was honored and also accredited as the father of modern dentistry. The Surgeon Dentist, a treatise on teeth, is quite an influential book written by him, in which extensively explained the comprehensive system that was used for taking care of one's teeth and also getting them treated when necessary. And this day was created in the US to show appreciation for the dentist. It's a health day targeted towards bringing attention to the improvement of dental health and hygiene. As per reports, in most industrialized countries, one of the most frequent infectious diseases is dental cavities. As much as 95% people may knowingly or unknowingly be suffering from a similar dental problem. A good dentist will educate you on the ways in which your unique oral hygiene issues can be addressed and tell about your various treatment options that are available within your budget. A good dentist will always hear out your requirements, worries, and queries. A good dentist upholds a spotless, organized workplace and employs staff that is welcoming and amicable, guaranteeing that you feel comfortable during your appointment. Any good dentist will offer a decent range of treatments to suit your requirements, and they won't try to sell you anything you might not currently require. A good dentist will also A good dentist will offer a decent range of treatments to suit your requirements, and they won't try to sell you anything you might not currently require. A good dentist will build a long-term bond with you even when you are done with your visit or your dental procedure. They will ensure that they follow up with you. So dentists or doctors are no less than any other doctors. This is an apt way to remind the world how important are and the services they offer us. Though dentists do keep a lot to keep you smiling and ensure that your perfect smile is maintained. And this gives a way to express your gratitude and thank your dentist. And it's a great way to let them know that you care about them and you are always going to be a loyal patient. Today is also commemorated as National Leave the Office Early Day. For those of you who find yourself living in a work instead of working to live. This was founded by employee productivity expert Laura Stack in 2004 to raise awareness of the benefits of increased workplace productivity. The purpose of this day is to demonstrate how making small adjustments in the way we approach our work can greatly improve the results of our work, allowing workers to become more productive while the office and spend few hours working in the office. Technologies like computers, internet, smartphones, and Wi-Fi have added to work overload by allowing employees to extend their workday beyond customary business hours rather than walking out of the office. The stress of juggling family and the work schedules, long commutes, deadlines, and spending long hours in a workplace not only zaps energy and endangers our health, but it also robs both employees and employers of the joys and rewards that honest work should provide. All work and no play is a proven recipe for disaster, but one that can be avoided to the benefit of both employee and employer. Happy workers are productive workers, and greater productivity means greater profits and rewards for all. If you want more time outside work hours to enjoy family and friends or to pursue hobbies and activities, you can enjoy. So this is a great time to reboot you and your workplace, which needs to restore great work-life balance to benefit everyone and all. Hopefully, so leaving the office today, having accomplished your work in less time, and will give you and your employee a taste of what you have both missing. Today is also commemorated as National Rocky Road Day. With great joy and fervor, it is celebrated on June 2nd, commemorates the iconic flavor of the ice cream and dessert. Of course, it is funny enough, the flavor is sold not just in US and Australia, but also in all countries in India, China, Japan, South Africa, and many others. It was first created in Australia in the year 1853. Many entrepreneurs took these confectionery items, which got spoiled due to long journey coming from Europe, and mixed them very cleverly with nuts that were locally available. Also, they added some quality chocolate and then tried to recover them instead of throwing them out. It was actually ingenious. The name was used as a reference to the rocky road that travelers used in order to access the gold fields. Since the desert sort of had the look of rather bumpy road filled with rocks and potholes, the name struck. Years after that, the desert was turned into an ice cream, the Rocky Road ice cream. It was invented by William Dreyer in Oakland in 1929. He made an ice cream that comprised of same constituents as the original dessert. It was created in order to lift the spirits of people who were badly affected by the crash of Wall Street and subsequent Great Depression in the 1930s. So the name of the ice cream was given to put a smile on people's faces. So the tagline used for this treat at that time was share a scoop, share a smile. Today is also commemorated as Platinum Jubilee Bank holiday in United Kingdom, which is a weekend celebration that are taking place throughout the United Kingdom, the realms and the Commonwealth. She is the Britain's Queen Elizabeth Platinum Jubilee celebrations, which held in 2022 with a birthday parade. And this year also, it is commemorated. Today is also commemorated as National Donut Day to savor fried dough confections. And this favorite treat of Barack Obama, Homer Simpson, and the cops is celebrated on the National Donut Day on June 2nd. The origins are traced to the Salvation Army involvement in the World War I. During this time, a group of volunteers was dispatched to the front lines with the mission of providing comforting meals for the troops. These brave volunteers would later known as donut lassies. They would even use war helmets as a utensils to fry up seven donuts at a time. Then we'll move on to monthly commemorations. This month is also commemorated This month is also commemorated as Vision Research Month in US. Each year, a cohort of leading scientists, doctors, and intellectuals share their progress on an issue of urgent care in a month-long assembly. And research papers are published in the cornered area. And it is an initiative to prevent blindness and is observed on the purview of National Institute of Health, celebrated after Healthy Vision Month in May. Vision Research Month recognizes challenges in ocular disease research. So the discovery of visual aids to improve vision came along after discovery, and from Aristotle's layers of the eye to Jacques Daviel's successful extraction of cataracts, there has been tremendous progress in the identification, prevention, and treatment of thousands of ocular diseases in the last couple of centuries. So this month celebrates the progress being made in the field of ophthalmology. Humans have been always curious about the functionality of eye, how we can control the natural deterioration of our vision. The 18th century is best known for the consolidation of eye knowledge and various treatments that were locally introduced by leading figures in the field. The treatment of glaucoma stands out in particular from that period. The introduction of the ophthalmoscope in the 19th century brought researchers together for a deepened study of the eye. The increased level of precision also made the treatment of various ocular diseases possible. Throughout the 20th century, several strides were made in the field of cornea, oncology, cataract, and pediatrics. Vision care in the 21st century is based on preventive measures to prevent blindness. More than 12 million people in the United States suffer from vision impairment. And this month shares the progress that has been made in affordable eye care, along with the inventions that have vastly improved the living conditions of the permanently blind. This month is also commemorated as Social Pet Working Month. It's an opportunity to use social media to help pets find permanent homes. You can help by sharing adoptable animals, assisting rescues and shelters, and urging your friends, family, and followers to get involved. Use the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or any other social media account to do this and keep busy this entire month posting about pets that are up for adoption in your locality and help make a pet's life so much better. So it's a month-long celebrations of using social media to assist homeless pets to find loving homes. Not everyone knows how to get involved and aid animal shelters in person. And social media is a terrific way to point people in the right direction. You can share resources such as articles on how to volunteer at a shelter or connections to shelter if they have special qualifications and needs. And most shelters would welcome the extra help, and that is an excellent month to match new volunteers with groups and needs. So promote shelters and rescues if you don't have time to organize an event yourself. You can always assist rescue shelters in publicizing and promoting their activities because non-profit organizations rarely have large advertising budgets. They rely on word of mouth marketing with which social media can help. People abuse, dump, hoard, or overbreed animals. That is one of the reasons why there are so many animals in shelters. We can battle household breeders, puppy mills, and dog fighting rings by raising awareness. These practices cause enormous misery for dogs and result in crowded shelters. When authorities and rescues take these animals, today is also commemorated as this month is also commemorated as skyscraper scraper month. We are celebrating the architectural phenomena all through skyscraper month, which is not only to the United States but the world at large, and it places the spotlight on an architectural breakthrough that was once considered impossible. It is all about celebrating the magnificent buildings efforts that led to construction of the historical property giants like the Chrysler Building, the Empire State Building, the World Trade Center, and many more establishments like the Burj Khalifa and many more across the world. Skyscrapers were buildings with 10 to 20 stories in the late 1800s. Though the term has no universally agreed upon definition, modern skyscrapers are primarily steel frame structures that are 100 to 150 meters high. This proves how far we have come. However, this is just beginning, as there are skyscrapers that are super and mega tall that reach 600 meters. Of course, these structures must be livable, which is another crucial aspect. There is major distinction between skyscrapers and modern high-rise buildings like the Washington Monument and older historic examples like the Great Pyramid of Giza. The introduction of safety elevators by Elisha Otis in the 1850s and use of steel frames in construction established the foundation for modern skyscrapers. The first modern skyscraper came to be a few decades later with the construction of Home Insurance Building in Chicago, which was 10 stories tall. However, some historians consider the Equitable Life Building in New York to be the first, although it was only 7 stories tall. This month is also commemorated as Rebuild Your Life Month, as it allows people to take a moment to reflect on the way they are living their lives. It's never too late to start living the life you always wanted. So this could mean changing careers, taking a sabbatical, changing your education path, etc. As long as you believe in your dreams and follow what makes you happy, you can rebuild your life. Rebuild your life is a perfect way to start doing just that if you have been putting your life plans on the back burner. Rebuilding your life takes commitment and focus, as you have to give up several old ways and incorporate new habits and routines into your daily schedules. Nevertheless, the end result is worth as it is will allow you to be truly happy, and you will have something to look forward to every day, every single day. Reading inspiring quotes can further motivate you to stay on your journey and maintain unwavering focus. Rebuilding your life can be extremely enlightening process that allows you to dive deeper into your own mind and soul and catalyze emotional and spiritual growth. The confidence that you obtain from this can be used to not only rebuild your own life, but also aid others who are embarked on a similar journey. Rebuild Your Life is widely celebrated by individuals from all walks of life who are or will be stepping into a new world and changing the course of their life path. This month is also commemorated as Professional Wellness Month, which throws light on the workplace's role in creating a holistic environment for employees. It also focuses on how organizations that place emphasis on professional wellness are largely successful, attract top talent, and drive employees' retention. There is no substitute for professional wellness, and it is a key factor for ensuring overall growth of an organization. Adults spend a significant portion of their lives working in their offices. Therefore, it is important that there is a healthy connection between work and individuals' overall well-being. There is enough research to show that the personal well-being of an individual, which comprises a good exercise routine, healthy diet, sleep patterns, makes them highly productive and valuable to an organization. Therefore, professional organizations need to step up in their game and create an environment where their employees can thrive and be happy and healthy. It is also in the best interest of the companies to invest in the professional wellness of their employees, since it can lead to increased productivity, higher engagement levels, and a robust work culture. Many successful organizations focus on the physical and mental well-being of their employees. This month is also commemorated as Potty Training Awareness Month. These all are in US. Potty training is something many parents worry about, but it's not as drastic as most imagine. With a little time and support, your children will gain control of their bladder and bowel movements, and you won't have to worry about changing their diapers anymore. Positive reinforcement make things go smoother. The process will have its ups and downs, and there will be accidents along the way because mistakes are inevitable. It is important to stay positive and be patient during this time. When your child is ready, they will pass the milestone. And it is potty training is an aspect of human development that has fascinated scientists for many years. Even today, it is common belief that an individual's personality is shaped by how and when they were toilet trained. The mindset likely has a lot to do with Sigmund Freud, on the most controversial yet influential psychologist of the 19th century. Freud's theories on psychosexual development are still the subject of debate in the present day and one of the most popular subtopics in the annal stage. In 1905, Freud presented his theory of sexuality in childhood development. He theorized that between the ages of 1 and 3, a child would naturally develop a need to control their bladder and bowel movements. Freud further stated that the success of this process depended on the approach the parents took in potty training. Using praise and rewards for the proper toilet etiquette produced more positive results. Children felt more capable and confident, and as a result grew into more capable, confident adults. Those who received negative responses became anal expulsive, resulting in a messy, destructive personalities. Overly strict parents produced a child with anal retentive personalities, making them uptight and obsessive. So while all these theories are intriguing, they are outdated and have little scientific evidence to back them. Today we know that potty training has a long-lasting effect on child's personality, development, or intellectual well-being. This month is also commemorated as pharmacists declare war on alcoholism as a result of ongoing public attention dedicated to the problems of substance misuse and chemical dependence in America. Addiction is a chronic, progressive, and deadly condition defined by a strong desire to do things, to do drugs, a loss of control over the drug use, and prolonged usage despite its obvious negative consequences. Few healthcare workers are trained and educated in this area of clinical treatment, which is unique, frustrating, quite frustrating as well. And pharmacists are frontline healthcare providers and in many ways the most appropriate members of the healthcare team. This month is also commemorated as Perennial Gardening Month in US, and a perfect way to honor this month would be plant some perennials. These flower year after year, thus giving a beautiful garden to boast about and admire. Small flowering perennials bloom every spring and summer. However, they lose their flowers in fall and winter. This month is also commemorated as Oral Health Month. Supported by the American Dental Association, is a reminder about the importance of maintaining good oral hygiene. This month is also commemorated as National Zoo and Aquarium Month to honor the role that zoos and aquariums play in the conservation and research of animal and fish species. It promotes and encourages people to visit zoos and aquariums. Zoos and aquariums provide the opportunity for individuals to learn about animals and marine life. Many of them also offer different kinds of interactive educational programs to make learning more. The first zoo in America was the Philadelphia Zoo that opened in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1874. And it major change came since 1874. The New York's Zoological Society was established in 1895. There was a time where three popular zoos, namely Prospect Park, Central Park, and Queen Zoo, were operated by the Parks Department. But in 1980s, after There was a time when these three popular zoos were operated by the Parks Department, but in 1980s, after capital restorations were undertaken, the Wildlife Conservation Society took up the management. It was in 1993 that the name Wildlife Conservation Center came into being to better represent the goals of the situation. This month is also commemorated as National Scoliosis Awareness Month in US. Helps people to learn more about this condition, why it is caused and how it affects can be reduced. Even though it is not a harmful condition, it makes people extremely conscious about their appearance. Some people even experience pain because of it. How there are many simple things one cannot do it. Today is also commemorated as National Scleroderma Awareness Month in US. Scleroderma is a chronic autoimmune connective tissue disease in which body produces excess collagen. This causes hardening and thickening of the brain and the internal organs. This month is also commemorated as National Safety Month in US. When people focus on how they can keep their environment safe and free from any danger, it's time to reflect on the working conditions around the country and how we can create a safer environment for those who want to work hard for the future. It's a time to reflect on the working conditions around the country and how we can create a safer environment for those working hard for by learning about safety methods, we can increase pressure on employers to work safely, a safer working environment to their employees. This month is also commemorated as National PTSD Awareness Month in US. It ushers in an array of awareness campaigns run for the benefit of PTSD survivors, which starts for the post-traumatic stress disorder occurs in people after they have experienced a particularly traumatic event like war, violent physical, sexual, verbal assault, candidates, and so forth. This month is also commemorated as National Rivers Month in US and is dedicated to care for the rivers and keep them clean and thriving. Rivers are not only a source of water but also food, irrigation, and shelter. Many communities depend on them for their livelihood and way of life. It is our responsibility to preserve rivers like a national treasure and find ways in which we can function without polluting or damaging them. The UN established Water for Life Decade is an attempt to spread awareness about saving water resources, and National Rivers Month is continued effort initiated by famous conservationist Mark Angelo. The UN believes National Rivers Month to be a great way to fulfill the aims and objectives climate change and toxic pollution put rivers at risk. Angelo explored more than 1,000 rivers across the globe, which was which is a record in itself, which showed river world gained immense popularity. This month is also commemorated as National Pollinators Month. Pollinators are insects and animals that transfer pollen from one plant to another. This pollen transfer leads to plants being able to produce fruits, vegetables, and nuts. Pollination, thus, is a crucial method through which humans and wildlife get their food resources. Research studies estimate that about 75% of the food sources in the world are dependent on the pollination. However, due to increased pollution and invasive non-native plantations, pollinators like bees and wasps are in danger of extinction. By protecting and encouraging people to protect pollinators by providing them with right environment in terms of right pollination plants and avoiding the use of pesticides, by protecting pollinators, we will in turn ensure the steady production of food resources. Over centuries, specific pollinators have developed a specific relationship with the specific plants they pollinate. For example, special fig trees can only be pollinated by specific fig wasps. Furthermore, certain insects and other types of pollinators only come out when the plants pollinate are in the season. This month is also commemorated as National Pet Preparedness Month and reminds pet owners to always prepare emergency plans for the animal friends so that they can be well, the weather emergency conditions like safely. Pets are much victims of natural and man-made disasters. As humans, and therefore, owners must also be prepared to evacuate their pets with supplies necessary for their needs. In the event of facing an emergency or natural disaster, it is paramount that everyone in your house gets out safely, including your pets. From house fires and blackouts to hurricanes and floods, such events are frightening for us and can be more so for pets who rely on their owners to keep them safe. Thus, having emergency plans for your pets is crucial in making sure they get out and handle the situation safely. Up to 1 lakh to 2 lakh 50,000 pets were stranded or forced to be abandoned following Hurricane Katrina's devastation in 2005, which has led to around 70,000 and 1 lakh 50,000 pet deaths, mainly by starvation. During Hurricane Sandy in 2017, it was reported that hundreds of pets were spooked by coas even to flee. Luckily, organizations such as American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals tend to react swiftly to save pets affected by such disasters. But the best way to ensure their safety is to have emergency measures prepared for them beforehand, especially since not all disaster evacuation centers might accept pets. So it is to remind you that the safety of your pets lies primarily in your hands. This month is also commemorated as National Osteoporosis Month in UK. It is a special awareness month that makes it easier for people to find out more about critical importance of good bone health and osteoporosis prevention. Hundreds of millions of people in the world suffer from osteoporosis and low bone density. In fact, approximately 10 million Americans have osteoporosis and more than 44 million have low bone density, placing them at an increased risk of osteoporosis. What exactly is osteoporosis and how we can prevent it? Is there any remedy for people suffering from this disease? Osteoporosis is a bone disease characterized by a brittle weakness of the bones. It is often called a silent disease because you cannot feel your bones getting weaker. In fact, you may not even know you have osteoporosis until after you break a bone. In the United Kingdom, June is officially observed as National Osteoporosis Month and aims to generate awareness and inspire behavioral change to keep the bones healthy. Although human bone density reduces with age, contrary to what most people think, osteoporosis isn't a normal symptom of aging. It's not normal at any stage of life. It can cause serious broken bones, pain, suffering, life-altering loss of mobility, and even death. We reach our peak bone mass between ages 25 and 30, and then we slowly start losing the bone mass at age 40. This is accelerated for women. They lose 1.5% to 2% of their bone density per year in the first 10 years after menopause, which is why women over 50 are particularly at risk of having osteoporosis. People with low body weight and people with a family history of osteoporosis are also at risk. However, the disease is preventable through regular consumption of calcium and vitamin D and treatable through physical therapy and medications. This month is also commemorated as National Oceans Month, as it's time to honor the element that is essential to the planet Earth. The ocean is known as the lungs of the earth, and very rightly, so it gives us many important foods and medicine. In fact, the majority of the Earth's oxygen also comes from the ocean. It also keeps the climate in check. Each year, ocean is celebrated in its all glory in the month of June. It is beautiful time to come together and celebrate the ecosystem that is essential to the survival of people and marine life. The ocean is home to majestic sea life such as fish, turtles, colorful coral reefs, and unique organisms. Every year, a proclamation designating June as National Oceans Month is issued. Additionally, the United Nations General Assembly designated June 8 as World Oceans Day. And World Oceans Day was first declared in Rio de Janeiro at the Global Forum on June 8, 1990. And this National Ocean Month was conceptualized to recognize our connection to the ocean and to raise awareness about the dangers it faces. It is unfortunate that each year approximately 8 million metric tons of plastic is thrown into our oceans. Additionally, it is found that around 4 billion plastic microfibers litter the deep sea. Another challenge that occurs that our oceans face is the case of overfishing, and this has an adverse impact on the thousands of species have made ocean their home. Marine life should not be subject to such harsh conditions, and humans should endeavor to protect it. Thus, in current times, it has become more imperative to take necessary action to treat our ocean resources with respect. We also have to keep in mind the future generations who will also need the ocean to live a prosperous life. The world's largest and deepest ocean is the Pacific Ocean, which covers approximately 63 million square miles and contains more than half of the free water on Earth. Ocean life is extremely vast and difficult to map, due to which many marine organisms still haven't been studied. However, the most abundant life forms that can be found in ocean are planktons, plants, mammals, fish, marine reptiles, and so forth. Geographers divide the ocean into 5 major basins: the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and Southern. It is difficult to study ocean life, hence the reason only 5% of the planet oceans have been explored. The planet's longest chain of mountains, the mid-ocean ridge, stretching across a distance of 40,390 miles, is almost entirely beneath the sun. It is the widest point. The Pacific Ocean from Indonesia to Colombia is wider than the moon. The borders of the US extend 200 nautical miles away from the shore, and thus half of the country lies below the ocean. According to the United States Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organizations, the oceans have around 3 million shipwrecks. The National Ocean Service states that the oceans produce over 60% of the world's oxygen. This makes them extremely important to the well-being of all individuals. There is a vast marine life that lives in our deep blue seas. From fish and turtles to coral reefs, you can find unique life under the water everywhere. Oceans are their homes and natural oceans. month helps us to remember. People often underestimate the ocean's power to combat climate change. Oceans protect and restore seagrass, salt marshes, and mangroves. They also absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere at a higher rate than terrestrial. This month is also commemorated as National Microchipping Day, which is all about pets and ensuring they are safely implanted with a little chip so that they can be traced if they go missing. Everyone knows how easy it can be to lose track of your pet, even for a second. So this month aims to reduce pet owner stress and worry if their pets go missing by encouraging microchipping. Events in this month center around highlighting the importance of microchipping and how it can help. After all, George the cat was reunited with his owners almost 13 years after he wandered off the power of his microchip ID. There is also commemorated as this month as National Frozen Yogurt Month. We have warm temperatures and soaring milk to thank for yogurt, while the exact records were unknown. We know yogurt was discovered around 5,000 years to 10,000 years ago. In ancient India, the combination of yogurt and honey was the food of the gods. The Persians believed that Abraham's fecundity and long life were a result of regularly eating yogurt. And yogurt was a very well-known food in Greek and Roman Empire and has played a major role in Mediterranean cuisine since 800 BC. This month is also commemorated as World Infertility Awareness Month to increase awareness regarding numerous infertility issues faced by the couples across the globe. This includes problems related to female as well as male fertility. And during this month, several myths regarding the infertility are debunked and a lot of options are brought forward to those who may want to conceive. So the purpose is to improve the lives of millions of people who fall to conceive due to lack of scientific. Infertility is a term used for couples who can't conceive, as well as women who are unable to stay pregnant and often miscarry. While infertility can be tough on those experiencing it, a solution cannot be provided till awareness regarding the cause is spread. In fact, infertility is so common that the World Health Organization has recognized it as a public health issue for Based on a report by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, there are over 1 million couples in the US who are unable to get pregnant even after a year of trying. It is also recommended that couples over the age of 35 consult a doctor during a delay in pregnancy. So people began to understand medical condition and find treatments that may help cure underlying fertility issues. The common problems that cause infertility in women include polycystic ovary syndrome, which is found in high percentage of women nowadays. The syndrome has several stages and is often curable through medication and treatment. Other issues faced by the women include diminished Other issues faced by a woman include a diminished ovarian reserve, where the eggs in a woman reduce with each menstrual cycle, and endometriosis, a condition where the growth of the tissue inside the uterus is moved outside. It is due to these problems that 85,000 women undergo IVF treatments on a yearly basis. Since fertility issues are not a rarity, it is recommended to utilize this month to visit a doctor and spot your fertility problem before it escalates. This month is also commemorated as World Golf's Month, Women's Golf Month, as it promotes golf among women and girls with the help of fun, affordable events, which are designed to provide friendlier environment for women and girls golfers. And it is a way to help both casual and avid women golfers to get in game and get to know about each other and contribute to the growth of women participation in golf. So with these various commemorations, what we are trying to understand is how each and every aspect is very important and how it is relevant to human development, well-being, and sustainable development. Sometimes we might see or get annoyed with these commemorations. Why such a simple act need a day? Like we have tissue paper day, we have pencil day, we have eraser day, we have pen day, we have whatnot. For everything, there is a day. And this is a culture, especially by the US, where they have a day dedicated. Without a day, they can do that work. Unfortunately, because in those cultures, it is in such a way. But we have a different culture where we are very much conscious about our own environments, where we take care of our environments and we also protect them with a holistic approach. So these all are quite important for us. By at least we can appreciate that we are not celebrating even our own festivals, which have a very great significance. we need to understand why these days are being created. Now, when many such festivals are not being followed or becoming redundant nowadays because of more materialistic things, and we can see more every day, a new day is created, more than one, and they are being celebrated. So we need to understand these should be part of our life, and we need to go back to our own festivals and where we need to revive our cultures and traditions and our rich cultural practices. Earlier days, temples were centers for development, both physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, economical, social development, and various business, commerce, and trade. And not only that, they were promoting culture, art forms, theater arts, music, and a lot more. But due to our own negligence, we have been undermining and undervaluing the importance of these aspects, because every temple used to have a huge properties attached to it so that it can take care of itself, and it can also support various educational, cultural, and other activities. So thus temples were centers for the development. But what is happening now? We are neglecting temples, and we are not following rituals. We are not celebrating festivals. Though we are celebrating or following, it has been more of materialistic or a ritual or a routine rather than a ritual. So that created a lot of destruction to the cultures and traditions. Whenever we need to have a festival, there used to be a huge melas, or in other words, they are called jataras or exhibitions or fairs, especially in every village where temple hosts a huge grand every year. There is an annual festival, or in some festivals, all kinds of artisans, all kinds of business, and a lot of trade and exchange, entertainment and cultural exchange, trade, commerce happens, and lot of performance of different art forms come together and perform, so that they will also be recognized, rewarded suitably, and they get a chance to perform and also spread the knowledge and continue their legacy. But what is happening nowadays? That kind of holistic approach is lacking. And especially we see in Hinduism, though the other religions are continuing a little better, we can see the music people are still encouraging, especially in Christianity. We see a lot of Christian music is being taught from children. But even before Christianity came into existence or any other religion came into existence, Hinduism has this wonderful traditions and customs of reciting Vedas, mantras, and ragas, especially classical Indian music. These all were very much contributing to the health and well-being, which were initially pursued as hobbies and also later taken up as a career and also profession, which helped improving our concentration, our health, speech, voice, and memory, and lot of aspects. and contributes even to our mental, psychological health and well-being. But as we are moving far from all these things, we are getting into more and more of psychotic, psychiatric, psychological diseases, disorders, or illness, mental illness, and various other forms are widely prevalent today. And because of lack of these things, we are also not being properly socialized and with involvement of more into gadgets, with the gadgets engagement, and we are not actually involved in socialization process with other human beings. Even forget about others, but even within the family, we are started communicating through WhatsApp, different Facebook and other things. So what we are lacking is the human connect. You know, there is a funny comedy clipping in a movie where, there are a lot of movies recently. One web series also came, it is Dead Pixels, it portrays how a teenage or a middle-aged boy and girl are engaged into excessive gaming, and how their life turned out. It's a very good case study, in fact, for us to reflect upon what kind of, and there are a lot of documentaries, especially though movies are failing today and the media somehow, the mainstream media is somehow, more biased towards the commercial aspects. But there are certain medias, especially documentaries, which are very good in bringing out the facts and the realities of life. So do watch such wonderful documentaries instead of watching movies or soaps or serials, these marathon serials, which is nothing but, lot of hatred, lot of jealousy that is being spread. And I don't know, at the end of the day, what we are gaining from it. But I see many clients, being reportedly coming up, neglecting their household chores, neglecting their office work by getting addicted to this, daily soaps or serials or marathon serials, whatever you call. Not only it's more common in women, but also it's widely prevalent in men also. Men also nowadays are watching more daily soaps. Basically, these were meant for the old age people, especially because of the longevity has increased and more senior citizens, especially, they are bored because they are also living lonely. So for them, these things are designed in such a way so that they don't get bored. But what is happening? The young generations are wasting their time and resources. Using their productive time and resources instead of in productive, constructive work, they are investing their precious time and resources in watching movies, videos, which is killing their time, in fact, and they are not able to concentrate and take up various activities. So that's why these are all very important, not to be neglected. And it's all our responsibility to revive our own Sanatana Dharma or our own rich cultures and traditions, without which sustainable development is not possible in any way. To achieve a truly sustainable development, it is only possible to Sanatana Dharma and the Vasudhaivaka Kutumbakam concept. The world can be saved only with these two concepts, which truly promotes global peace and harmony, spirituality, oneness, that will help us to see the fellow human beings as human beings. The greatest disease or disorder we have today is not able to see our own fellow human beings as equal human beings. We always judge them. We always discriminate or differentiate them on basis of color, caste, creed, religion, in terms of social status or educational qualification, educational status, or the kind of employment, occupation they are into, the kind of properties they are possessing, and the show off and awards and rewards. All these, we can appreciate. There's nothing wrong, but we should not put that as a criteria. So this greatest disease is creating more greed and jealous, that is creating more issues for the development, especially for the sustainable development, because we all are in rat race and digging our own grave for our destruction. So unless and until we appreciate each and small moments in our life, it is very difficult to be more happy. If you are not happy, then it is constantly troubling you. So thus the anxiety, stress levels increase, and it takes toll on your health as well. So first is appreciating what we have, and also valuing what we have, so that we can attract more abundance. If we do not value what we have, then we will also lose them, and again there are more miseries ahead. So with this, let's all go back to our own rich cultures and traditions and realize the realities and get out of these delusions and illusions of falsely created. World is Maya, which is spread across all over the world, blinding our not just sight, but also foresight. And we are living in an illusory world where the reality is different. And what we see, what we hear is different. So with this, we shall end the today's commemorations, and we will meet tomorrow. The feedback form has been shared in the form of Zoom polls. We request everyone to quickly attend to the feedback form. It's mandatory. Every day, we request everyone, whoever is attending, to register on daily basis and participate, attend in time, join in time, because minimum attendance is also a criteria. And then fill the feedback every day so that you can download your certificates from the website after stipulated time. Don't worry about the certificates. They will be issued as and when there is feasibility. Keep attending, keep gaining insights. Thank you everyone for joining us once again. See you all tomorrow. Registration form has been shared in the chat box, just in case you have not yet registered. So quickly fill up the feedback form. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.